Once upon a time, there lived a man named Kolu, who lived in a quiet village of Okoji. Kolu had two great loves in his life, his first wife, Adana. Adana was a woman of grace and beauty, with eyes that sparkled like the stars in the night sky. But Adana was unable to conceive a child for Kolu. This concern disturbed the couple for years. So one day Kolu and Adana agreed that he gets another wife that can conceive children for him so his lineage would continue and avoid mockery from his mates. One day Kolu picked another wife for himself. Her name was Amaka. Together, they were blessed with two daughters, Oma and Dana, who brought joy and laughter into their home. Adana, on the other hand, was a woman of quiet strength, her heart overflowing with love for Kolu and his children. Though she had not borne any children of her own, she treated Oma and Dana as her own flesh and blood, showering them with affection and care. But Amaka, on the other hand, hated Adana because she was the first wife of Kolu. She would often pull her children away from Adana and warn them not to go close to her, telling them that Adana was a witch and wanted to kill them. Though Adana does not have a child of her own, her husband Kolu loved her so much. As Amaka noticed the love Kolu had for Adana was greater than for her, she was filled with envy and jealousy. One day Adana then discovers she is pregnant. On hearing the news, Kolu was filled with joy and excitement as he anticipated the arrival of the new baby. As time passed, a tragedy struck one fateful day when Adana fell ill while carrying Kolu's child. Despite the efforts of the village healer, she passed away, leaving behind her newborn daughter, whom Kolu named Chioma. Devastated by the loss of his beloved wife, Kolu poured all of his love and devotion into raising his three daughters. As Chioma grew up, she was treated as an outcast in her own home by her stepmother Amaka. From morning till night, Amaka burdened Chioma with endless chores, while her own daughters lounged in luxury. Chioma endured her hardships with grace, her spirit unbroken by her stepmother's cruelty. She would make her go to a far lonely stream to fetch water alone. To make her situation worse, she won't give her food to eat till Kolu her father come back to the house. Whenever Kolu suspects she has not eaten, if Chioma tells him the truth that she had not eaten, her stepmother will often beat her the next day after Kolu leaves the house. So she became terrified of her. One day, Kolu got really sick and sadly, he passed away. Which made things much harder for Chioma in the house. Life became meaningless for her. As time went by, one day Amaka cooked a delicious pot of soup for dinner. While the soup was simmering, her two daughters sneaked into the kitchen and stole all the meat from the pot. When Amaka discovered the missing meat, she angrily confronted Chioma, accusing her of stealing it. Despite Chioma's protests and tears, Amaka refused to believe her stepdaughter and punished her severely. Chioma, innocent and heartbroken, endured the punishment, feeling helpless against her stepmother's cruelty. Despite the unfair treatment, she remained kind and hopeful, believing that one day, justice would prevail. As the years passed, Oma and Dana grew spoiled and entitled under Amaka's watch. They mocked Chioma's kindness and made her suffering worse, unaware that fate held a different path for each of them. One day, news spread throughout the village that the prince, renowned for his kindness and wisdom, sought a bride. Median from far and wide journeyed to the palace, hoping to win his favor. Amaka saw an opportunity to advance her own ambitions and hastily prepared Oma and Dana to compete for the prince's attention. Meanwhile, Chioma, though mistreated, remained humble and compassionate. She caught the eye of an elderly woman, who was impressed by her gentle nature, and offered her guidance and assistance. When the day for the prince to choose a wife arrived, all the maidens and people in the village square in their finest cultural attire. Amaka presented Oma and Dana in their finest attire, confident of their success. As the drums started sounding, the maidens all joined in the dancing, showing off their dance moves to impress the prince. Oma and Dana danced at their best. Yet, as they danced before the prince, their arrogance and vanity repelled him. In stark contrast, Chioma arrived at the market square dressed simply but elegantly, her inner radiance outshining any finery. Mesmerized by her grace and humility, the prince approached her, and they danced together in perfect harmony. Witnessing Chioma's triumph, Amaka's jealousy boiled over. She attempted to sabotage her stepdaughter's chances, but her schemes were foiled by the village elders, who recognized Chioma's worthiness. In the end, the prince chose Chioma as his bride, much to Amaka's dismay. Chioma ascended to her rightful place as princess. As the stepmother watched her stepdaughter marry the prince, a pang of regret pierced her heart. She realized too late the magnitude of her cruelty and the beauty she had overlooked in the stepdaughter. Tears welled in her eyes as she saw the happiness radiating from the bride, a happiness she had tried to quash for so long. Her children, once so full of arrogance and disdain, now hung their heads in shame, seeing the consequences of their actions unfold before them. They understood the depth of their wrongdoing and felt the weight of their mother's regret. In the quiet moments after the ceremony, the stepmother approached her stepdaughter, her voice choked with emotion as she begged for forgiveness. She vowed to change her ways, to make amends for the pain she had caused. And though the scars of the past remained, the stepdaughter found it in her heart to forgive, knowing that redemption was possible for those who sought it sincerely. The moral of the story is that no amount of cruelty or mistreatment can dim the light of kindness and resilience. Despite facing adversity and oppression, the Chioma's success and capacity for forgiveness showcased the triumph of goodness over wickedness, teaching us that even in the darkest of situations, compassion and forgiveness can ultimately prevail.